In every lifetime, there comes a moment when a person quietly looks at their reflection and asks a question the world cannot answer for them. Am I ready to become the person who wins? Not the person who talks about winning, not the person who dreams about winning, but the person who finally steps into the identity they were designed to embody. This question does not whisper, it echoes. It vibrates through every choice you make, every habit you keep, every excuse you repeat, and every dream you postpone. It is the question that divides those who merely exist from those who are reborn. And before you try to escape it, before you rush back into distraction, exhaustion, or the familiar comfort of your old patterns, pause, breathe, because this question is not a threat, it is an invitation. An invitation to cross the threshold that billions never dare to step over. An invitation to abandon the smallness you've outgrown. An invitation to return to the original blueprint of your soul, the one that knew greatness long before fear taught you mediocrity. You see, winning is not something you achieve. Winning is something you become. Every titan of history understood this truth before their name was ever written in a book. Edison did not wait for the world to give him permission to imagine what did not yet exist. Carnegie did not wait for circumstances to be perfect before he built an empire from nothing. Walt Disney did not wait for approval before painting entire worlds in his mind. Henry Ford did not wait for agreement before attempting the impossible. And Abraham Lincoln, a man forged in more darkness than light, did not wait for certainty before stepping into a destiny that demanded everything from him. These individuals were not chosen by luck, nor crowned by destiny. They decided, and decision is the birthplace of identity. The moment you decide who you are, the universe rearranges itself around that truth. But until you decide, you will remain suspended in the space between who you were and who you could become. And that space is the most painful place to live. It is where dreams suffocate, where confidence erodes, where your true power dissolves into hesitation. To win, you cannot merely desire success. Anyone can want. Desire is cheap. Decision is costly, and the cost is everything that is small, fearful, lazy, doubtful, distracted, or uncommitted within you. The price of becoming the person who wins is the death of the person who loses. But let us go deeper, because winning is not the shallow, noisy, external victory the world glamorizes. Winning is an inner conquest, a war fought in silence, a war against your own mind, the battlefield where every dream is either built or buried. And if you do not learn to control the forces inside you, the forces outside you will control you. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your habits, your standards, your self-talk, your discipline, your identity. These are the unseen levers of your destiny. Every champion who ever lived mastered these levers long before the world called them successful. They built their triumph in the shadows, in the hours no one applauded, in the moments when progress was invisible, in the days when no evidence of success existed except the conviction burning inside of them. Napoleon Hill spent decades interviewing the world's greatest winners, men who shaped industries, molded nations, and altered the very direction of history. And he discovered something extraordinary. Their success was never the result of extraordinary luck, but extraordinary mindset. A burning desire, a definite purpose, an unwavering belief, a disciplined plan, a persistent spirit, a refusal to quit, and a vision so vivid it felt more real than the present. This is the blueprint of the person who wins. And yet, most people walk through life without ever building it. They drift, they react, they wait, but identity is not shaped in a single moment. It is sculpted through repetition, through the small, seemingly insignificant decisions you make when no one is watching. It is carved through discipline, through consistency, through the refusal to betray the future you are building. The person who wins is not built through grand gestures, but through quiet mastery. They understand that greatness is not an event. It is a lifestyle. It is a commitment to showing up with intention, day after day, even when motivation is gone, even when results are invisible, even when progress feels painfully slow. Winners do not wait for inspiration. Winners create momentum. They know that action does not follow motivation. Motivation follows action. And so they begin, they move, they push, they show up. Not because they feel like it, but because their identity requires it, because their future demands it, because their purpose commands it. You see, most people waste their lives negotiating with their weaknesses. They debate with their excuses. They argue with their fears. They wait for a perfect moment that will never come. But the person who wins understands a deeper truth. Your destiny is shaped not by what you want to do, but by what you refuse to avoid. Edison was not motivated every day. He worked through thousands of failed experiments, through exhaustion, through disappointment, through ridicule, but he did not negotiate with the dream. He acted. He persisted. He kept his vision so clear, so vivid, so undeniable, that failure could not silence him. Henry Ford was not gifted with certainty. He faced bankruptcy, opposition, mockery, and setbacks that would have ended lesser men. But he refused to shrink, refused to surrender, refused to betray the vision that lived inside his mind long before the world could see it. And Lincoln, a man crushed by loss, heartbreak, defeat, and unimaginable pressure, did not rise because he was the strongest. He rose because he was the most resilient. Because he discovered that courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision that something else is more important. So ask yourself now, with complete honesty. What have you allowed to control you? What story have you repeated that keeps you small? What excuse has lived inside you for years, disguised as logic or reason? What weakness have you protected as if it were part of your identity? Because the moment you protect a limitation, it becomes a prison. And the moment you defend an excuse, it becomes a destiny. But here is the truth most people never realize. The chains holding you back are not made of metal. They are made of thought. They are forged from doubt, fastened by habit, and locked by fear. And the key that unlocks everything has been in your hands all along. It is your decision, your belief, your discipline, your vision, your actions, your identity. Every weakness you have can be overpowered the moment you stop identifying with it. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not your fears. You are not your excuses. You are not the voice that tells you to wait. You are the one who decides whether that voice lives or dies. This is where winners separate themselves from the world. They understand that transformation does not begin with changing what you do, but with changing what you believe. Your beliefs shape your identity, and your identity shapes your destiny. If you believe you are incapable, everything in your life will confirm that belief. If you believe you are powerful, everything in your life will rise to meet that power. The world does not give you what you want, but struggle alone is not the teacher. It is your response to struggle that determines who you become. The same pressure that breaks the weak strengthens the strong. The same obstacle that discourages the average awakens the exceptional. The same adversity that blinds some people gives others the clarity to see their next step with absolute precision. Every challenge in your life carries within it the seed of advancement, but only the person who wins knows how to extract it. They do not ask, "Why is this happening to me?" They ask, "What is this shaping me into?" They do not ask, "When will this end?" They ask, "Who will I be when it does?" They do not shrink back. They lean in. They grow forward. This is where resilience becomes your greatest ally. Resilience is not simply the ability to survive difficulty, it is the ability to grow through it. To remain aligned with your purpose even when everything around you suggests defeat. It is the refusal to give the world permission to break you. It is the commitment to rise again and again, until the rising becomes your identity. Look at Lincoln. He failed in business, lost elections, suffered personal tragedies, and carried a weight that would have crushed most people. Yet each setback carved a deeper reservoir of strength within him. Every disappointment refined his character. Every hardship amplified his resolve. He did not become a great leader because he avoided adversity, but because he endured it with dignity, purpose, and unshakable belief. Look at Walt Disney. Fired from a newspaper for supposedly lacking creativity, broke, rejected, mocked, yet he carried a vision so alive within him that it refused to die. The world told him no, but his imagination told him yes. And so he listened to the voice within, not the voices around him. Look at Edison. Thousands of failed attempts, yet every failure became a stepping stone to mastery. He understood a truth most people overlook. Failure is not a dead end, but a directional sign. Failure points you toward what does not work, so you can discover what does. Failure, when embraced correctly, becomes fuel for transformation. And now look at yourself. You have endured storms. You have survived disappointments. You have faced days when quitting felt easier than continuing. And yet here you are, listening, seeking, evolving. Something in you refuses to settle. Something in you knows you are not done. Something in you knows that your story is still unfolding, still rising, still calling you forward. That something is your winner's spirit, the part of you that cannot be silenced. No matter how heavy life becomes, it is the voice that whispers, "There is more for you. Keep going." But to truly become the person who wins, you must do more than endure. You must interpret your challenges as assignments, divine appointments designed to prepare you for the magnitude of your future. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. Every test is equipping you with the emotional armor, mental strength, and disciplined character required to handle the success you are destined for. Because success is not a gift, it is a responsibility. It demands maturity. It demands discipline. It demands emotional intelligence. It demands that you carry yourself with the strength of someone who has been tested and the humility of someone who remembers where they came from. Success without character collapses. Success without discipline decays. Success without humility corrupts. Success without gratitude disappears. Gratitude, yes. Gratitude is one of the most underestimated forces in the world of achievement. Gratitude is not passive. It is not soft. It is not something reserved for gentle moments. Gratitude is a weapon, a mental anchor that stabilizes you when your mind tries to drift back into fear or scarcity. When you are grateful, your mind cannot spiral into weakness. When you are grateful, your heart cannot dwell in lack. When you are grateful, your soul cannot, and through action, something extraordinary begins to happen. Your identity starts to shift. Your habits strengthen. Your confidence expands. Your vision sharpens. You begin to trust yourself, not because of empty affirmations, but because of visible evidence that you are becoming the kind of person who does what they say they will do. Action is the proof of belief. Action is the language of commitment. Action is the signature of those who win. Every step you take, no matter how small, reinforces the architecture of your destiny. Every disciplined choice becomes another brick in the foundation of your future. Every moment you rise when it would be easier to stay still becomes a declaration to the universe that you are no longer negotiating with the person you used to be. You are building someone new, someone stronger, wider, deeper, and more aligned with the life you are meant to live. And yet, as you evolve, you will face resistance, not only from the world, but from within yourself. Your old identity will try to pull you back into patterns that feel familiar, even when they no longer serve you. Your old habits will whisper to you, your old fears will call to you, your old excuses will try to seduce you into comfort. But understand this, resistance is not a sign that you are failing. Resistance is a sign that you are transforming. Change always disrupts the familiar. Growth always exterminates the old. Evolution always demands a sacrifice. The sacrifice of the person you were, and the person who wins knows that the discomfort of growth is infinitely better than the agony of stagnation. There will come a moment in your journey when you realize you are no longer fighting the world, you are only fighting the parts of yourself that were conditioned to lose. And when that moment comes, you must be brave enough to let those parts die. You must release the identities that kept you small. You must break the patterns that kept you distracted. You must silence the voices that kept you doubtful. You must confront the emotions that kept you stuck. This is not destruction, this is rebirth. Because to become the person who wins, you must first shed the person who fears losing. But let us go deeper still. Winning is not about conquering the world. Winning is about conquering yourself. It is about mastering your thoughts before they become limitations. Mastering your emotions before they become excuses. Mastering your habits before they become prisons. Self-mastery is the highest form of victory, the victory that precedes all others. Look at every great figure in history and you will see the same truth reflected. Before they mastered their craft, their work, or their world, they mastered themselves. They disciplined their minds, commanded their focus, controlled their impulses, and aligned their behavior with their purpose. Their success was not accidental, it was engineered. And now it is your turn to engineer yours. The world will try to convince you that your circumstances define you. But circumstances are temporary. Identity is permanent. The world will try to convince you that your past limits you, but the past is a lesson, not a life sentence. The world will try to convince you that only a select few are destined for greatness. But the truth is that destiny is not inherited. Destiny is chosen. Success is not found. Success is created. Success is not discovered. Success is designed. Success is not awarded. Success is earned through the relentless pursuit of the best version of yourself. And you right now, in this moment, stand at the threshold of that pursuit. You stand at the doorway of the life you could live if you fully committed to it. You stand at the beginning of a path that billions never choose, not because they are incapable, but because they are unwilling to confront themselves. But you are different. The very fact that you are here means you are ready for more. It means you are no longer satisfied with the version of yourself that settles. It means you are no longer willing to drift through life half awake. It means you are choosing to become conscious, deliberate, intentional, powerful. It means you are ready to become the person who wins. So let this moment be your declaration. Let this be the moment where your old identity ends and your new identity begins. Let this be the moment where indecision dies, where fear loses its hold, where excuses dissolve into dust. Let this be the moment where you stop waiting for the right time and realize the right time is the moment you decide. You do not need permission. You do not need approval. You do not need guarantees. You only need the courage to take the next step, because the path will appear the moment you walk. The strength will appear the moment you lift. The wisdom will appear the moment you act. Life does not reveal the whole journey at once. Life reveals the next step to those brave enough to take it. And so now, I ask you once again, not as a question meant for your mind, but as a question meant for your soul. Are you ready to become the person who wins? Are you ready to rise when it's hard? Are you ready to believe when it's uncertain? Are you ready to act when you feel unprepared? Are you ready to discipline yourself into greatness? Are you ready to walk away from your limitations? Are you ready to stop surviving and start becoming? Because winning is not about luck. Winning is not about talent. Winning is not about timing. Winning is about identity, the identity you choose every single day. You are not defined by your past. You are not restrained by your fears. You are not limited by your circumstances. You are not held back by your doubts. You are not destined for mediocrity. You are capable. You are powerful. You are evolving. You are rising. You are becoming. So step forward. Stand tall. Choose the identity that calls to you. Claim the future that belongs to you. And decide, truly decide that from this moment on, you will no longer live as the person who hopes to win, but as the person who does. Because the moment you choose to live as the person who wins, your entire life changes, forever.